Sorry.
Most of us say we would die for our kids, but how many of us are willing to live for them? And by live, I mean choosing a longer, healthier, and a happier life. It's far more important than we realize because our well being shapes theirs. And I think we owe it to them and to ourselves to make time for our physical, mental, and emotional health. I know it's easier said than done, but in this episode, let's dive into some practical, doable ways to actually start making it happen. Hey, mommies! We know you're tired and you're here for a reason.
We are two moms just looking to unwind after a long day. So come join our rants and let's make this journey a little less lonely, one episode at a time.
Welcome to our podcast, Mom vs. World.
I can't remember the last time I truly did something entirely for myself. I don't mean those little 2 minutes here and there where you sit on the couch, relax, or take a really good shower once in a while. But I'm talking about something that is really healthy and productive and makes you feel good at the end of it, right? The maximum I do is take some so called me time after my baby goes to sleep, and I just sit and scroll on my phone endlessly until my eyes are just too tired to take anymore. So that doesn't really unwind me from my stress. It just makes me feel more awake and more stressed because there's so much information that's going into my head, and it makes it harder for me to fall asleep at the time. The worst part is I cut that time out of my own sleep time when I'm already sleep deprived.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I was this exact same person. Just a few months back, whenever I had free time, I would scroll on my phone or watch endless episodes or a movie. You know that feeling you have after watching the movie, after the movie is done, you feel more depressed than you were earlier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so clearly that's not a productive activity at all. From the last couple of months, I started working out.
Really? I can never find it in myself to do that.
Yeah, it's really difficult to start, but I mean, I notice there is this lifestyle change which automatically happens when you start one thing. Like things slowly start falling into place bit by bit. At least for me, because I'm really exhausted physically, I fall asleep easier now without touching my phone most of the days.
That sounds amazing in theory for me, but where do you get the time to work out?
We came up with this idea like me and my husband, we alternate our workout days. If one day is his workout day, it's my responsibility to take care of my son during that hour, and it's the same with him. So we prioritize each other's workout on those days, and that's helping a bit. I think that 1 hour, whatever is happening, even if my son is cranky or he wants just me, I just go. I mean,
Right. That sounds hard, but I guess that's the one. That's
yeah.
one way to just get it done.
Yeah, and he'll be
Anyways.
fine. Like he'll just cry for 5 minutes and then
Right.
he'll play with my husband or whatever. But taking that one step to just go out to the gym is what makes it happen.
Yeah. For me, anytime I get anywhere in the day, I would just rest because that just feels so important. I'm so desperate to get some rest and to relax for a while. It's just so hard to choose to work out, right? When you get a chance, because working out is a lot of work, right?
Yeah, it's definitely hard in the beginning. I mean, I struggled the first month. Every day was like, why am I doing this to myself? As if I don't have enough things to do. Why am I doing this? But eventually, once the second month started, now I feel more energetic doing things at home. I have much more energy in me. My body is a bit more cooperating to me to do all the house chores and everything. And you will automatically be inclined towards healthier food and better habits like waking up early or choosing to cook
I actually,
meals.
do want to do some things. For example, something as small as eating fruits. I want to eat healthy, right? I like fruits, but then I keep thinking, okay, I'll just save them for the evening or tomorrow in case my kid gets hungry again or wants a snack or something. But I'll never touch them because I feel like somehow I've managed to convince myself that it's a waste to use up any such healthy food on myself.
Yeah, I'm not worth eating the fruit.
Exactly, like I don't deserve fruits. Which now that I say it out loud sounds absolutely ridiculous.
I read this somewhere. The more junk you eat, the more you crave for it. Apparently, our gut microbiome gets rewired to whatever we eat. The more frequently we consume junk, our gut microbiome changes accordingly, and certain bad bacteria that thrive on processed sugar or increased fat, they actually signal your brain to feed more of the same food. So your craving is not actually coming from your brain, maybe it is coming from your gut bacteria asking for more
Yeah, that
junk.
makes sense. I mean, I can feel that sometimes somebody will give us some sweets for some festival, and then we end up eating it after dinner every day. And then once those sweets are done, me and my husband are like, oh my God, we need some dessert. So it becomes a habit. So I guess what you're saying is that we need to rely on putting your body into action rather than expecting your mind to be in control, right? And by that, I mean changing your daily habits and like waking up early and cutting down bad foods for longer periods of time is a much better practice than waiting for your willpower or something for one day to change your life all at once.
Yeah, I don't think we should rely on our willpower. We are bad at that.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and of course, your kids prefer a healthier version of you any day, especially as they grow up. You don't want to have some diseases or joint pains when you should actually be running with them or going on a trek with them or playing some sport with them, right? You would feel much better if you're able to do all those. Or you can just say, I'll just sit on this bench, you play the sport, and I'll watch it.
Right.
Or,
That's what happens most of the time.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for older parents.
yeah.
Yeah. I think not just that, but your kids will eventually start imitating you, right? They learn from your bad habits. You think you can sit on the bench and eat unhealthy and but then feed them nutritious food and encourage them to play outside more. That's not going to last very long. Eventually, they will start to imitate you. They will sit around more. If you sit around more, they will start enjoying the same foods that you do. And this applies for so many other things in your daily
Yeah,
life.
that good habits or bad habits, it becomes a family thing. It's
Yeah.
never you alone or your kids alone. It just, we eat outside thrice in a week. It becomes a family thing, not just your
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
So if you can't change it, definitely don't expect them to change it. Especially as mothers, whenever we have some free time in our pocket, we tend to think we would rather spend that time with our child or cook a special meal for your family or maybe organize the house or something like that. But we don't think about working on our bodies or our mental health, which actually need much more constant attention than we would think. And we don't really pay half of what it needs.
That's true. We have to constantly remind ourselves that a happy and a healthy parent can only make a happy and healthy child. Especially the mother's well being makes a huge impact on the family. So, in a way, since many generations, mom's sacrifice has been so glorified, it's like a standard for being a mother or something. A good mom is a mom that suffers more, right? We need to break that way of thinking. We have to tell ourselves no, a good mom is a mom who takes care of herself as well.
Yeah, that's really important. I think mothers in our generation or in our previous generation, they just keep doing things for their family and they spent years just taking care of the family members, cooking meals and maybe going to work or not going to work, but they don't work on themselves. I mean, how many mothers do you know in their 40s who are healthy and fit and who can actually sprint for more than 2 minutes, right?
Barely. I
None.
mean, I don't even have the confidence myself. And if you're so unhealthy by the time your kids hit teenage, for example, they just think they will have to end up taking care of you in those precious years. And just imagine your son or your daughter having to spend so much time handing you things while you're sitting because you're in pain or you're too sick, or doing a lot of hospital visits because you didn't take care of yourself, right? How would you feel then?
That sounds really sad and depressing for a teenager taking care of their parents while they have to enjoy with their friends, going out and chilling. But even if they do go out and chill, they kind of feel guilty for leaving their sick parents at home and having fun.
Yeah.
That is, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
And one way to keep fit is to do those physical activities with your kids, like sports. Sports are the best way to stay fit with your kids or without your kids. If gym is not your thing or running is not your thing, maybe sport can help you in that way. At least 1 hour of a sport, especially I'm talking about the women in the house. They don't really hardly go and play sports. Like if
Yeah.
you have that option in your community or anywhere nearby, I think you should grab a friend and just go and play a sport for at least 40 minutes a day. That helps you physically and also very mentally relaxing if you
Let's
start
not
doing
forget
it.
the impact of a mentally healthy parent. If you are in that good place, then you're in a much better position to teach your kids how to handle their emotions, how to be active like you, and to teach them how to think and to problem solve and all these things. Everything starts falling into place.
Yeah, imagine them living with you as a stressed, frustrated, or depressed person, right? If their mom is always in a bad mood, they wouldn't feel like staying home at all. Like they would rather hang out with their friends.
Exactly. That
Right?
ruins your relationship as well, which is also very important.
Yeah.
And so there is this thing, whenever I think about these things, I decided that I'm going to start a hobby or something like that to take that time for myself, which is productive. I picked up my violin, which is a funny story.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it still alive?
Yes. So back then, I always used to get it repaired, play it for a week, and then it's back in the shelf gathering dust again and again. So this time I thought I was just hell bent on doing that productive me time. So even if it is not repaired, even if the strings are not in tune or whatever, I would just take it and play it, whatever it may be. I did it for long enough that it had become a good practice. It had become a habit for me. So now I've got it fixed and it lasted, and now I actually play. I'm learning to play the violin. It's not about skill level or it's not about someone appreciating you. It's just something that you do that is just fun for you and in a way learning as well, right? So that's so much better than scrolling. I've cut down on my scrolling time so much at night.
Yeah, I picked up an old hobby too. I used to love reading, but after childbirth and sleepless nights, who would read, right? But yeah, I thought I should get back to that hobby. So I bought myself a Kindle to motivate myself. And it also became an obligation. Like my husband is like, "Oh, you're going to read every day now, right?" And that's how I started. But yeah, I'm never going back again. I'm reading every day, at least for 30 minutes before going to sleep, mostly. And that helps me go into a deeper sleep. And also, I think this is one way to keep your brain active because some stats say things like Alzheimer's and dementia are setting in much more earlier than they used to. And keeping your brain active and functional is going to prolong your mental age.
Oh, yes. Actually, Alzheimer's and dementia are becoming a big concern now. It used to be a thing for only few people that are over 70, that too, but now it's more and more common among even 50-year-olds as well. So, another issue is things like stress, anxiety, and depression are so common that they can actually mask the symptoms of early dementia. And we are still so in the dark about what could happen to us if we take our current health for granted. Just like most of our parents commonly have diabetes and cholesterol and BP issues, imagine if most of us 20 years later just have Alzheimer's and obesity casually everywhere and we are all just
Oh God.
sick and unable to do basic things.
God, that thought of burdening our kids with our problems at such a young age is really scary.
Yeah, we are already getting married so late and having kids very late. So,
Yeah. To avoid such things, I think we have to keep our brain active starting from now. Maybe we can do things like learning a new skill or solving puzzles once in a while or playing chess with your husband or maybe getting creative with crafts or some fun little projects at home or like origami or something like that.
I know, right? Now that we are saying all these things out loud, it sounds so like, oh my God, who will do all this stuff? And I know mom tasks are already pretty heavy on the mind, but believe me when I say it, stressful and compulsory brain activities have a different impact on you in a positive way that develops you instead of depletes your energy.
You don't have to actually write a book or read a book. You can maybe do simple things like just read a small article a day or journal thoughts by the end of the day. I think such things help challenge your brain in a way, because most of us are just on an autopilot mode doing the same exact thing every day. We hardly use our brain to do all those things we do. I think such things help strengthen your neural pathways and maybe delay cognitive decline over time. It's like workout for your brain, just like your body. Your brain also needs regular exercise.
Yep, absolutely. So, to sum up this episode, emotional, intellectual, and physical well being of a mother is more important than we actually give credit for. And just as we believe that what we do for our children pays off later in the future, what we do for ourselves also pays off. Not only for you, but for your kids as well. Because a healthy parent makes a child's life so much easier and so much more fun as well. I really hope we could resonate with you because every feeling is valid in motherhood. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow us for more such content.